organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, gas prices are on the rise again. Find out what it means for Iowa and the rest of the nation.
Find out what issues Iowa City tenants are being faced with in their apartment complexes.
And Matt Gaetens did his part once again, but was the size of the Illini too much for the Hawks to handle? We'll recap last night's game in sports.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
From Studio 151, your television news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan, this is Daily Iowan TV.
Welcome to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Christina Targosz. Some exciting news was announced this afternoon for Hawkeye football fans. We'll start tonight off by going to Daily Iowan TV Sports' Kate Constable for the update.
Well, guys, the last open position of the Iowa football coaching staff has officially been filled. It was announced this afternoon that veteran coach Greg Davis will be the new offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the Hawkeyes. Davis was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the University of Texas for 13 years before resigning last year. Under Davis, Texas set a then NCAA record, averaging 50.2 points per game in 2005 and won a BCS national championship the same year. Be sure to stick around for a full update on Hawkeye sports in just a bit.
The University of Northern Iowa's Dance Marathon raised more than $55,000 for the University of Iowa's Children's Hospital over the weekend. This was the first year UNI has hosted the event, and they nearly quadrupled their goal of raising $14,000. UNI ranks among the top 2 schools nationwide for fundraising for a first-year dance marathon. Roughly 170 schools across the nation participate in charitable dance marathons.
And people are still picking up the pump despite a rise in gas prices for the 20th straight day today. Daily Iowan TV's Josh Bolander takes a look at what's behind the most recent rise in fuel costs across the nation.
Whether you're driving a truck, moped, or the same car you've driven for years, you probably noticed, discussed, or complained about a growing topic over the past 20 days: gas prices. That's right, everyone's favorite topic of discussion is back, and expensive. The price of unleaded gasoline rose for the 20th day in a row, rising 2.7 cents to a nationwide average of $3.67 a gallon. According to the motorist group AAA, that's almost a 30-cent increase from a month ago, when the nationwide average was just $3.38 a gallon. Average prices for regular gasoline are more than $4 a gallon in California, Alaska, and Hawaii, and are just shy of the $4 mark in New York City, Connecticut, and Washington, D.C. While Iowa is under the national average for a gallon of gas, it's not far behind. Iowa's current price for a gallon of gas is 3.582 cents a gallon, ranking them 29th nationally for most expensive gas, with Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana the only Midwestern states more expensive.
The rise in gas prices are affecting students as well, with many only supporting part-time jobs and driving back and forth between home and school.
While the UI does offer a carpooling service to its students, one thing's for certain, the state and its students aren't out of the woods yet. Josh Bolander, Daily Iowan TV.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, we take a look at where a lawsuit stands against the local leasing company, Apartments Downtown. And in sports, the Iowa's women's basketball team sent its seniors off right yesterday. We'll take a look at some of the highlights of how the Hawkeyes match up against Michigan. But first, let's check in with Daily Iowan TV's Nick Robertson for a look at your weather forecast. And Nick, we keep seeing these crazy winters bring us snow and then sunshine just days apart. Tell us what to expect next.
Yeah, guys, you can expect more of the same, really. We'll see the return of some winter weather tomorrow, starting off at 34 degrees with a 26% chance of rain or snow, but it only gets worse from there. In the afternoon, it will be 42 degrees with a 60% chance of rain, and then in the evening, there will be a 90% chance of rain with the temperatures at 39 degrees. And looking at the rest of the week, the rain and the snow will carry over to Wednesday with temps staying about the same as well. Thursday will clear off and give us a little warmer weather with the temperatures at 47 degrees. The rain could come back Friday, but you can expect a sunny weekend and temps in the 50s to start off the week. So looks like the crazy Midwest weather is going to continue for just a little bit longer.
As first-time leasers, student tenants in Iowa City are continuously faced with unfair leases and other landlord issues. Daily Iowan TV's Sharina Mehdi met with one attorney working with students to see what issues are most common.
Students already have so much on their plate, such as studying, that the last thing on their mind is filing a lawsuit. But that has been the reality for some UI students whose deposits were not given back to them by their landlords.
You know, I think this is the worst injustice that's going on in the city right now. You know, thousands of tenants are being treated unfairly.
Because this is currently one of the worst injustices occurring, there are now class action lawsuits taking place against apartments owned by the Clark family, such as apartments downtown.
The purpose of the class actions is to clean up the leases. So that's maybe 25% of the problem.
So what exactly is the problem?
From what we can see is they keep most of the deposit, all the deposit, or they'll take it all and come after you for more money.
Although it seems very difficult for students to be getting their deposits back, there are still things that they can do.
Before entering into a lease, I would suggest that students make sure that they look over it carefully and also probably look over the state statutes that govern landlord-tenant relationships.
Have somebody come in as an independent witness. Don't have your mom, you know, don't have somebody, your roommate. Try to get someone over 30 who lives in town to come in and take a look at it. Because if you go into small claims court and you've got an independent witness, that would really go a long way to help you win your case.
If you're looking for assistance to bring your case to court, check out the Tenant Project, which makes this easy and affordable for students. Sharina Mehdi, Daily Iowan TV.
An Eastern Iowa veteran finally received his long-awaited Purple Heart Medal just hours after his death. 81-year-old Richard Morrison served as a corporal in the U.S. Army during the Korean War nearly 6 decades ago. The Burlington Hawkeye reported that Morrison died at home with his family while waiting for the medal to arrive via UPS. An Afghanistan war vet and a family member pinned the medal on Morris's chest once it arrived.
State legislators are deadlocked in some key issues. Daily Iowan TV's Ryan Jones takes a look at these issues in the legislature right now in this week's political update.
Thanks, Christina. And while the GOP candidates are debating each other, the debates in the Iowa legislature are heating up. The big divides in the legislature are in property tax cuts, mental health reforms, and education overhaul. In mental health reforms, Republicans want the state to start funding the system instead of taxpayers. Taxpayers are currently paying $125 to $131 million to fund mental health. But Democrats are worried switching to state funding will hold mental health hostage to budget fluctuations. For property tax reforms, Republicans want to reduce taxes for commercial and industrial properties by 40% over the next 8 years. Democrats argue this would shift the tax burden to residents and force cuts in city services. And Democrats propose giving a tax credit to property owners. Branstad proposed overhauling the K-12 education system last year, but both Republican and Democrats have been chipping away at this plan. The Republican-controlled House has written a bill that would hold back illiterate third graders, allow the firing of teachers based on performance instead of seniority, and expansion of charter schools. The Democratic-controlled Senate has written a bill that has none of these. Instead, their bill wants to give intensive reading help in early grades and set restrictions on internet-based schools. University of Iowa professor Tim Hagel said legislators are going to be feeling some pressure to actually show that they accomplished something. Moving into national news, Rick Santorum is feeling some pressure after some comments he made. Santorum has seen criticism from both the left and the right after his comments of calling President Obama a snob for wanting everyone to go to college. This was just days after he said that JFK's famous speech about separation of church and state made him want to throw up. Even with criticism, Santorum is not scaling back the rhetoric.
You hear so much about separation of church and state. I'm for separation of church and state. The state has no business telling what the church to do.
With the most delegates up for grabs at one time on Tuesday with Arizona and Michigan's primary, you know none of the candidates are going to give up. That's your political update. Back to you at the desk.
And now let's take a look at today's national top stories. At least one is dead and 4 others have been injured after a shooting at a suburban Cleveland high school. The gunman opened fire in a cafeteria of Chardon High School around 8:30 Eastern Time Monday morning. One student said the victims attended nearby Auburn Career Center and were shot while waiting for a bus in the Chardon cafeteria. The shooter was apprehended by authorities about an hour and a half after he opened fire. The victim still remains in the hospital.
And a man was killed after crashing a tanker truck full of gasoline on Interstate 94 in Wisconsin early Monday morning. Authorities believe the driver lost control before flipping the truck and bursting into flames, causing all lanes of the highway to be temporarily closed. The driver died at the scene, and the cause of the accident remains under investigation. And now we'll see what's happening in Hawkeye sports with Daily Iowan TV's Kate Constable.
senior Matt Gatens was awarded Co-Big Ten Player of the Week after scoring a combined 63 points in 2 games against Indiana and Wisconsin. He shares this week's accolade with Purdue's Robbie Hummel. Gatens is the first Hawkeye to win the award since 2009 when guard Jake Kelly was honored. Gatens has averaged over 26 points over Iowa's last 4 games. And he and the men's basketball team have been hot lately, beating 2 top 20 ranked teams in Indiana and Wisconsin. But the success has come from the comfort of Carver Hawkeye Arena. Last night, the Hawks went on the road to Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois to take on an Illini team that had lost 6 straight games. Coming out of the gate, Iowa looked as they did last week here with Devin Marble using the glass for the game's first bucket. And the Hawks scored the first 5 points off a wild rebound as Matt Gatens takes it down for the layup and gets fouled. He would go on to make his free throws. But Illinois answered right back as Tracy Abrams with the lob up to Nana Goo, who put the Illini on the scoreboard. Later in the first half, guard DJ Richardson hits the 3 to give Illinois a 16-8 lead. But then it's our own Devin Marble on the breakaway as he dishes to Aaron White, who converts for the basket after being fouled, but he would miss his free throw. And it seems that Illinois had an answer for every Hawkeye run. Right after that, Myers Leonard of Illinois gets an and 1 bucket. Illinois had a 10-point lead for the majority of the game. But Iowa cut the Illini lead to 5 points with 4 minutes left in the game with this 3-pointer from Josh Ogleby. But once again, Illinois recovers. Here's a dunk from Leonard as he finished with 22 points. And then the dagger from Brandon Paul with 2 minutes left extended the lead to 58-48 and effectively ended any chance of a Hawkeye victory. The Illini went on to win 65-54 despite another solid showing from Matt Gatens, who had 22 points. Head coach Fran McCaffery said after the game that the Hawks had no answer of size of Illinois.
It's a handful, for anybody. I mean, we don't have a big team, and he took advantage of it. I thought they went to him early, but I thought maybe his biggest impact was on the glass. I mean, 14 rebounds, but 6 offensive. We got a couple of times where we stopped them, and we couldn't get the ball back.
So the red-hot Hawkeyes coming into the night could not get the victory in Champaign against a struggling Illini team. Matt Gatens finished with 22 points, once again had a great game, but down low the Hawkeyes could not compete with the size of the Illini. Myers Leonard for the Illini finished with 14 boards and 22 points, just dominating in the paint, which led to a 65-54 Illini victory. From Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois, Jake Abrams, Daily Iowan TV.
Sam Logic was another Hawkeye with a great showing, being named Co-Big Ten Player of the Week and Freshman of the Week for the 3rd consecutive week. And although it was Bluder's seniors who stepped onto the Carver floor Sunday afternoon for the last time, it was the freshmen who really put up the show against Michigan. Melissa Dixon got things started off hot for the Hawks, shooting 6 of 15 from behind the arc for a career high of 22 points. Sam Logic also played one of her better games, getting in the paint here for the easy bucket to put the Hawks up 41-34 with a minute left in the first half. But we can't forget about our seniors. Camille Wallin had almost 2 identical looks back-to-back at 3-pointers to end the half with 13 first-half points. Coming into the second half, the Hawks were up 45-34 and ready for more. They fought hard on the boards as Sam Logic comes up with the 3rd offensive board of the possession for the easy jumper. She recorded the only 4th triple-double in Hawkeye history with 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. But to seal the deal was once again Wallin with the drive down the paint for her last career win at Carver with a score of 79-71.
My hometown in Kirkston, they declared it Camille Wallin Day, so it's for my senior night, and it's kind of a little honor, I guess, that my hometown gave me.
And we wanted to win this game for our seniors. That was really important for us.
And just to continue this for our seniors has been huge. They've been great role models and leaders all year long, so I'm just glad we could go out like this for our seniors.
Well, that's all I have for Hawkeye Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
And before we leave you tonight, check this out. This Minnesota woman proved that you're never too old to party. Alice Gromwalt celebrated her 100th birthday party last weekend, and she did it in style, with a polka band. Hundreds of family and friends turned out to celebrate the milestone, and Grunwald spent the majority of the party out on the dance floor. This great-grandmother was born on the leap year way back in 1912.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into the print version of Tuesday's Daily Iowan.
Read about how the Iowa Board of Regents' new plan to market public universities using students.
And learn about one new major at the UI gaining a lot of popularity.
Well, that's your Monday edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching and have a great night.